based on that little jump. And look at this, Magma's like, no, 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 friend.
You get him, Kaz comes in the back. Oh. But at the same time, another player comes through and Ninja goes down. And Raven's Revenge are holding on all the corners. I don't see them controlling any one single point. Into the Cuddle Crew now in second place. They're in a battle with the Funky Fighters. This is important for everybody. The Fish Fam joining the fray as well. I think the Fish Fam may have overrun. Their School of Fish are taking out the Funky Fighters at last, but no, Suzu gets taken out too. The Cuddle Crew is going to abandon the point and maybe come right back. Suzu finally does control.
A brief moment, but not too long later, Tomoya says, hello, I would like the red point, please. And now we've got the Fish Fam over here. Suzu's is by himself. He's got a bunch of eliminations. The ball of the Cuddle Crew is coming up. They're trying to wreck him. He picks off Sandy, but unfortunately he does fall as well.
That was terrifying. They all came over the ramp at the same time. If you're just joining us here, don't forget we did increase the score limit up to 3,000. So if you're wondering, the Raven Revenge, they still got a ways to go, even though they are in the lead as it stands. I'm also keeping my eye out on the Llama Record Company. They're down at 300-ish points. They're going to claim 300 right now. And what they do, they always wait until the last moment, until that D point, the last point that opens up in the center, and they make a concerted push. I think that may be very, very strong, because in the first couple of games, as the Fish Fam, or as the Little Whip Warriors try to make a push here, they're gonna get shut down. The first couple of games, they just controlled it. Every single person was on that D point at the same time. They built their entire base out at the perfect moment. They were waiting for the time to pounce on that last point. Still 2 minutes until that starts to spawn.
Oh, he's gonna launch the Little Whip Warrior. He is in fact gonna shut down Taco. Look at this across the way. Magma gets picked off, and the Little Whip Warriors are back on the green point. Dude, I'm very curious to see what happens when that middle point opens up, because don't forget, it's 12 points per player of your squad on that point if you're uncontested. So you could very well see an entire squad say, the moment that's ready, jump down. We're just going to try and get a massive influx of like 48 points.
Could happen every single second down there. It's going to net you that, so has to put to an end immediately. It seems that this point right here keeps getting under contention by like multiple teams. The Fish Fam, Funky Fighters, and of course the Cuddle Crew, who get cleaned out. So they're not earning anything really from all fighting at the same time. One team ends up coming out on top, but then it all happens again. So maybe some timing issues here in terms of synchronizing the push on this point specifically.
Yeah, I mean, this gets way more hectic when anyone can score points, right? And the Fish Fam have been doing a great job sticking together, going in as pairs, duos, if you will, and trying to shut everyone down, but that's only going to get you so far.
It kind of breaks down, too, when everybody can score, because there's so much that more important. If you're by yourself, to stay on the point, in the previous iterations, if you're by yourself, you get off the point, because you can't even score.
But now you have to stick around. Look at the slaps coming out. Lachlan does take out Scissors, but does fall as well. Now Clytex is just trying to get back into the fray.
No, Lachlan, come on.
And now don't forget, they have a limited number of builds. It's about 100,
Team Fish Stick. Team Fish
Stick. Right now, man, you need to be turning your attention left and right, trying to eliminate as many players as you possibly can.
Team Fish Stick.
Team Fish Stick. He's going to start trying to take him down.
Come on.
Did not go his way, though.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Finally, the Fish Fam control this point that the Cuddle Crew and Funky Fighters were fighting for so hard. And they control it with all 4 players, so you could see their score rising significantly every second there. At the same time, the Llama Record Company with an evenly timed push as well, but Rubius comes in. Chicken Champions take out 1, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I think the Llama Record Company, no, they don't hold. Or do they?
Or do they? That is the question. It looks like, unfortunately, the answer is no, as the Chicken Champions are rolling in on the Sunshine Soldiers. Attacks are going off left and right, but Danyan is just it's just not falling. Just keeps eliminating left and right, getting a little bit of that siphon.
The timing of that push that took out the Llama Record Company might have actually worked out in their favor, because they're all going to respawn together. 5 seconds for this D point to spawn. You can already see they're hunting. End of Blood, Rubius, Carnifex, they're all going for it because they know the importance. If they can all stand in there at the same time, all the impulses come through before anybody can even build a base, build some protection against them. It's pure chaos down here on the D point.
And look, if you're another team on the outside looking in, as all these players are just jumping in toward that center point, you do what Gotaga's doing. Let's just sit on the point. No one seems to be paying attention to the fact that we're about halfway through what we need to win. Let them all fight it out. Don't make any sudden moves, right? Don't be the distraction to have someone go, oh wait, there is a point up there. We need to go get those guys.
I love what they did just there. They forced the one player there, but hold on, the Funky Fighters are all in. They have a base, there's no impulse. They are climbing the leaderboard hard. They're at third right now. They're going to overtake second. If this does not get shut down soon, the Ravens' revenge may have trouble looming.
And look at this, Llama Record Company, Hand of Blood, is trying his hand and slaying these players, but it does not go his way as Tomoya comes in. No Llama Record Company, they stay strong, they're still racking up the points. Scissor says, no, friends, this is not allowed. You cannot continue to do this. Clytex also wants in on this as well, and Scissors meets an untimely end.
Meanwhile, the Ravens' revenge have not stopped climbing points. If they have 4 members up here, it's about even to 1 player on to that D point. So just continuing to stay there. Finally, the Little Whip Warriors, Ninja, and crew are going to clean that up and put an end to it just before they hit 2,000. But on the other side, Chicken Champions are looming. They have 4 players on a single point, not the mega point in the center. See what's going on with them. They're all lurking. I don't think anybody really is too worried about them, but you know, with all 4 players here, it could all of a sudden become a nuisance.
Back down on that center point, you got Hand of Blood trying his hand again. Did not go his way. Kotu is here though for the Funky Fighters. He was able to rack up a small amount of points, but still, every little point you can gather is going to make a difference going in the end. And look, Gotaga and Ravens Revenge are back on the point, but so are the Funky Fighters. There was 3 for just a moment. Chaos is down, just breaking out down on the center point right now, Bala.
What is this? Literally every single sword bearer and almost every single player here from the Llama Record Company is using those tactical shotguns and getting in. But again, the Ravens Revenge are on point with 4 players, just shooting down, throwing impulses where they can, and just making sure they're accruing all those points. Meanwhile, the D point, nobody has gotten anywhere since the Funky Fighters were left there for so long. It all depends how this all unfolds. Hold on, they're trying to get a base. I think they might finally break through. No, they lose and trade off evenly every single time.
4 minutes left on that timer, and Bala, these guys have been uncontested. It's just now that the Little Whip Warriors want to try and make the push, but look at Gotaga. He's literally just slicing through all these ice cream cones. I was going to try and say hot knife through butter, but this is ice cream. It doesn't quite work that way.
It's crazy how nobody except the Little Whip Warriors are trying to contest the Ravens' revenge right now. They are sitting on the point by themselves with 4, but again, the Funky Fighters in the center with 4 players. They are not even making any noise. They're not showing that there's anybody there. They are rising so fast. Finally, 4Turtle comes in. He spots them out, but that's not going to be enough. They shut him down immediately. They're still on the point.
They need to just box this up. They need to bunker down. Look at this. They just overtook the first spot. Someone needs to do something about this.
Guys,
they're taking up
this
again.
could be the
have
end.
to go in the
This
center.
could be the end.
They
Get it.
Oh my God.
Funky Fighters again take the win here on Sky Station Showdown, the first match of the Golden Games, and that is a huge victory leading into the rest of these.
Just unbelievable. For so long, Gotaga and Ravens Revenge sat on the green point completely uncontested. And then for a moment, everyone forgets about the center point, and that's enough for all 4 members of the Funky Fighters to sit on the point and just rise above everyone else. And by the time everyone could kind of figure out what was going on, it was too late. They stole away the first golden game.
Ridiculous that nobody was able to spot that out. It seemed like 4Turtle was going to say, okay, guys, they're all on the point. Everybody start doing everything you can to stop them, because he saw all 4 members. They went from less than 1,000 once the D point was out to all the way up to win. And it was 400 points between them and the Ravens Revenge at the end there. Right. But you do have to also think about who else came very close in second. Ravens Revenge, who's in third. We'll be able to find out in a bit the standings, but just an unbelievable performance there from the Funky Fighters to realize exactly what must be done. That was the second time they completely boxed up that entire D point.
Yeah, and just completely uncontested. But that's it for the first of 3 golden games. And for the Funky Fighters, they secure that win. But for now, let's send it back over to Pookie. She's standing by with the winners. Pookie, down to you.
Thank you so much, Zeke. I am down here with the Funky Fighters. Another victory. I feel like I've been talking to you guys all day, but how did you find that remix game? Because those rules were a little bit different than what you were used to. So what was your strategy going into that one, Huzi?
I mean, everything was so unexpected. We were last and we came first because we got the middle. The point system, because every player gets points, so we win. It was so exciting. So exciting.
So exciting indeed. Now, Raven's Revenge was in first place for most of that match. You guys knew that you had to come up from behind, which you absolutely did, but I kind of just want to talk a little bit about how there are 3 teams tied right now for first place, and the winners of this set will be taking home that additional $1 million of prizing. So I don't want to put too much pressure on you guys, but what is your strategy going into the next game? Are you going to stay the same? Are you going to change things up? Are you going to go for the middle again?
Probably. Yeah, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, and as long as it works, we're just gonna keep it up.
For sure. Sounds like a great strategy. Finally over here to you. When you heard that there was a remix kind of blind side come in, what was your first reaction to hearing that?
Yellow, go to yellow circle and win.
Just win. I love it. It's so easy. It's such a great concept. You know, we talk about it all day, all of these things we break down, but at the end of the day, you just gotta win. Back to you guys at the desk.
Pookie with the most insightful knowledge you'll ever need in your entire life. It doesn't matter if you can just win.
Just win.
I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing it wrong.
You're winning.
I'm trying.
We're all
doing the
winning
best I can.
at the World Cup.
We all are, in fact. But so are these players that have taken the stage. Now, don't forget, those llamas are going to be playing a big factor in how the final $1 million prize pool is divvied out. And Pookie touched on it perfectly, actually. Right now, there's a 3-way tie.
Yep.
All right, and that's something we need to take a look at with those standings, just to give you the refresher. So, Funky Fighters, Fish Fam, and the Chicken Champions all have that silver llama. Now, don't forget, every single match they play, they're also walking away with a prize pool that they're splitting 4 ways. That part's awesome. But man, that extra $1 million prize pool at the end will be huge. So either the Funky Fighters, Fish Fam, or Chicken Champions need to win that golden llama for one of them to win, or if you're on the outside looking in, you just want that gold llama. Because if you win that llama, that means you and your team actually win that pot.
Yep. You win the $1 million final prize for the Creative World Cup.
Yo.
So all is on the line right
What's
now.
up,
Those
Coach?
prizings as they shake up into the next set are going to be so crucial to keep an eye out. The Funky Fighters taking a good first lead.
Yep.
But it's not enough. We've seen it time and time again in these first matches of the set. People who win the first game
What's up,
don't end up coming
CEO
through all
Goat?
the way at the end. So they have to have a consistently good performance into the next game, which is the Junkyard Juke, and then into the next game too, which is the World Run.
That's right.
They're all golden. All the golden games with
All the golden games. Not the golden boys, just the golden games. I love you, buddy. Now, don't forget, if you guys are watching and maybe this is the first time you're tuning in, don't forget you can watch also at Fortnite.com/watch. If you're watching in-game, you can do that as well. If you go to Fortnite.com/watch, you can actually kind of hone in on a specific team. There's 10 different feeds to take a look at, and you can say, like, you know what? I'm all about the Fish Fam. I'm just going to watch their perspective. You can do that. Head on over to Fortnite.com/watch. Take a look. Here are a breakdown of your feeds right there on screen.
It's an incredible new feature. I love to use it. I checked it out on my phone earlier, and just unbelievable, seriously. To see all the different POVs, to see the first and second place POVs, and then also to be able to pick who you want to watch. You can watch Lachlan in feed 8. You can watch Gotaga in feed 4. So just an awesome feature. Go check it out. It's amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Now, don't forget, guys, we are 1/3 of the way through the Golden Games. First one, Sky Station Showdown, is in the books, and the Funky Fighters were, in fact, the winner. Now we move on to the second game, and that is
What's up?
the
I'm
prop
screaming,
hunt,
so you have to be quiet.
Junkyard Juke. And don't forget, the remix, 10-point props.
Yeah, I was
only
gonna
the
check
large
it too.
ones.
My bad
You
for
can't go with
teasing you.
the little crowbar. You can't go with the wood planks. You can't go with any of that. And there is one of the prizes for the teams that won before. We've got 10 seconds until the game launches, Zeke. It's the second game of our Golden Games here, guys. It's time.
2-1, the game begins. Now, just a refresher, we can only be 10-point props. So let's break down what these 10-point props are. You've got a snowman. By the way, there's no snow anywhere else on the map. You've got a Christmas tree with a gold bomb on top. Nope, that sticks out like a sore thumb. A giant gnome? Well, I mean, it kind of blends in depending on where you stand. You know, if you hide something that's behind something that's blue, you can make the hide. A giant teddy bear. You've got the target. You've got the rusted out car. I mean, you've also got the giant dumpster. So, you know, as you kind of scan your eyes across the map, you know, you can see things like the dumpster, the rusted out car, the target. These are things that could be... Whoa. All right, Kaz. All right, this guy is, guys, got the eyes of a hawk. But these props are going to be, they're going to stick out like sore thumbs is what I'm trying to get at.
Yep. And a little, ooh, Kaz, awesome. You see his reaction?
Yeah, even Kaz is like, ooh.
Like, wait, Scissors was there. He is finding everybody right now. Good vision. And it is interesting. You got to make sure you know who the guards are at the beginning of this. It's the Little Whip Warriors on the bottom level. They're clearing out the house right now. They're making sure nobody is approaching. Only 4 teams have scored right now.
Trying to find people. That there was definitely someone back there that was, there's not supposed to be 3 trucks back there, I don't think. But you know, in playing this, the best way to kind of go about this is every time that those blinds come up, you want to instant reload right then on the spot. Yes, you can try to make blind fires. Unless you're certain, you're like, no, I know where my crosshair is. That's a player. Take the shot. Absolutely. But when those blinds come up, you want to reload. You want to have as many shots as possible before that next, I guess, shade comes back up, right?
And the Ravens' Revenge beating the other guards, by the way. Nice shot there from Taldeck. Yeah, you mentioned when the blinds, I've been calling it the black, when the black comes up, take the time to reload and make sure you're taking the time like Taldeck to stop and try to remember exactly what you saw. Don't move your POV, don't move your camera at all. As you try to recognize exactly what changed, you've got to use the uptime of your vision to take as many shots as possible to clear out what you think is possibly a prop. That player came down from below because he hit one of those springboards. Ayuzi moving forward, Zand as well. They're all going with the targets. Ayuzi gets in just barely because Taldeck missed a shot.
Man, this is really good for the Funky Fighters. They've taken themselves a nice early lead. It's only 20 points, nothing substantial yet, but if they could do this every single round, again, another big prop going in. They're at
Are you watching my stream?
ahead of the pack, and the only 3 teams behind them, Fish Fam, Cuddle Crew, and the Chicken Champions. And look, time is done.
I wish I was playing with them.
So don't forget, Ravens' Revenge, they have already been guarded, so going forward, all they have to do is try and rack up points. This is going to be huge going forward. The round is going to reset. We'll get 2 new guards on deck. You've got the Chicken Champions and the Funky Fighters. So now they can try to lock out other players from scoring. And it depends on how well they do, right? Because again, these are big 10-point props. And there's a lot of them as well. You know, the props outnumber you pretty substantially.
And if you recall the first game where the Ravens' Revenge were actually in second to the Funky Fighters. So, like you said, being able to take your time and make sure that you know exactly what you need to do kind of gives them a little bit of an advantage. But the Funky Fighters really did come out to a huge lead in the first, scoring 5 points, or 5 total. See if they can hold it down right now and keep the lead as it is. The Chicken Champions at 20 are not going to be able to close the gap. But we'll see if the Fish Fam, the Cuddle Crew, and everybody else can approach the Funky Fighters right now. They're trying to stop that from happening.
Well, Scissors did just drop in with that 10-point prop, who's closing that gap. If they can get another 10-point prop in, they're going to be tied with the Funky Fighters. But they actually have to make it there to the center to make it into the incinerator. That is going to be make or break. We have 2 minutes left on the clock. And, you know, my first instinct for this would be, you know what, I just got to go. I just got to try and run out as much as I can. That's actually counterintuitive. Right now, you want to just be taking baby steps, right? Just making sure you can secure those points is crucial.
All the players right now, you can see them down below trying to get the shots as possible. They're racking up the eliminations right now. I don't think Fish Fam may have Gotten one through. Taldat gets one through. That's going to even the gap a little bit. There's the Funky Fighters again, just blind shooting through the black. And remember, 1:30 to go on this guard. Fish Fam has tied it up with that score right there.
And so has Cuddle Crew. They got 2 props in, so they're 1 prop behind right now. Oh, Action, you gotta be careful, buddy.
One prop behind. There's Little Whip coming through as well. So all of a sudden, these teams are letting a lot of props through, or maybe it's the props who figured out their timings, figured out their tendencies, figured out when they stop shooting. 1 minute to go here. Here's Ninja. He's got a car. This is one of the most difficult obstacles or props to get in.
Okay. Stacking on top of each other. Oh, so dangerous, because when you see things like that tight together, you're like, yeah. Oh no, the bumper. You gotta land.
He was moving. Unfortunate there. You've got to press that control key at the last second to be able to make sure you get through. Scissors makes it through. Dude, that's a lot of points racking up. They're at 80 now, 30 points ahead of the Funky Fighters, which is unfortunate for their guard watch. 30 seconds to go.
They've taken the lead here, 20 points now. 30 points ahead. Make that 40. The numbers are changing like crazy. But right now, Scissors and the Fish Fam, they've got the lead. And this is huge right now. Don't forget the Funky Fighters are in the center, so they can't rack up points. We've got 10 seconds left. Whoever's out in the field, they need to make it into this incinerator right now.
Are they going to have any more points accrue? It doesn't look like anybody's close. That's going to be the round as the Funky Fighters and the Chicken Champions end up closing out that guard watch. We'll see where the standings end. I did notice something though, Zeke. So that the Ravens Revenge were at 0 for that run. They didn't get a single prop through, which is a far cry from their performance on Sky Station Showdown. They were second.
They need to band together right now.
Once I just got on, I start streaming.
This happen. Round 3 begins.
How much viewers you got?
The Sunshine Soldiers in the middle. So now the Fish Fam, you know, we saw this before. They got this lead, but now they have to try and lock everyone else out from getting points. And as we've clearly seen, it is actually way more difficult than it sounds.
Are you CEO GOAT?
First run of the Funky Fighters, they got 50
Eric.
early on. We'll see if they can get and double their score essentially to tie up with the Fish Fam. But Sunshine Soldiers also being a guard, and the first 2 right now ending up on guard watch.
2.5 minutes left on this timer. You see people hitting these hidden little bumpers. So a little surprise in case you've been wondering, why have they been flying up? There's little secret bumpers that are buried. You can see one right there that looks like a little silver dome. If players touch it, they're actually launched into the sky. And it's a very clear, like, hey, this is a person. They have disguised themselves as a prop. You should probably eliminate them. 2 minutes here on the clock. Funky Fighters, they were guards last round. They were behind pretty far. And now they're starting to close up that gap, right? If they can get another 3 props in within this 2-minute timer, they're going to be in a great spot heading into that final round.
Tyler trying to hold it down before he gets his last opportunity to go with the props. But here, the Cuddle Crew, and they're going to be on guard watch next. So if they don't solidify this lead very strong right now, it's going to be so difficult. Meanwhile, the Ravens Revenge did finally get a prop in. They could have a final round that could be amazing. We'll continue to watch here for the Cuddle Crew. Llama Record Company and Funky Fighters all earn a point in just a second there. 1 minute and 20 seconds for this guard watch to end.
Cuddle Crew's only a single prop behind. The Funky Fighters are only 2, and so are the Llama Record Company. Raven's Revenge is now on the board with a single. That's a Raven. Look at that. Scissors, he's got this on lock. He's got the entire map laid out in his mind, and he can tell the difference. Wait, does he catch the 2? He did not. Wait, these other 2 trucks, are they actually going to make it in? They're making it in. Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Scissors, they snuck right under his nose. They get in. But it doesn't.
Oh, he hit that person from the blinds.
Wow. He heard you, Zeke. He knew.
Listen.
Flexing a little bit on everybody.
He knows I'm a big fan of his. All right, he knows. Cuddle Crew. They're nice and hidden. All right, got to watch the bumper. There is one hidden. You see it right there in front? Be careful. You can see it. It's right there. Don't do it. Nope. Never mind. That was, looks like that was Fish Fam.
And it looks like a lot of props are making it towards the center right now. I think I just saw 3. Very close. Here's the approach from Huizi. Remember, they have to get sorted to get scored. So Tomoya, I think, will be the last prop here. Bensor making a push for it. No. But What a push there at the last second. They do all tie up the top three. 100. So that means this last round of Junkyard Juke is going to be so crucial.
This is very scary heading into round number 4. So take a look. In the center of the map, you've got Stevendaboss and his crew. So don't forget, there's 3 teams tied for first. You've got the Fish Fam, you've got the Funky Fighters, and you have the Cuddle Crew. So basically, they are well ahead of the pack, but they're fighting each other right now. Little Whip, or excuse me, sorry, the Llama Record Company, and now Little Whip and the Cuddle Crew, they're at 90, so they could close that gap, but they have to work so much harder to do that. You've got the Cuddle Crew in the middle, and this means they're not racking up any points for this round, right? They're just trying to keep everyone else from accruing points.
And 5th place or lower at this point. If they don't have a good performance, even the Sunshine Soldiers, the and the Chicken could go through. Nice shot there from his team. Joining them as well as the Llama Record Company in 2nd place. So 2nd or lower is all they can achieve.
So for right now, Llama Record Company, remember, they can't accrue points. They literally have to try and stop Fish Fam and the Funky Fighters from racking up points. If they get even 1 through, they are going to be edged out. Everything is riding on this moment right now. How accurate are they? How quickly and how much do they remember the map? Look at all these props here on the left side of the screen. One just got through with the quest. Little Whip, look, they took over. So did Fish Fam.
Nice shot there from Alex.
Great shot for sure.
He knew that there was a prop approaching. He knew that he didn't find anything in the last couple of seconds. He knew. Is he going to be able to find this one? You can see he's pre-firing through the black as they all try to approach. What a nice play from Alex. A nice strategy. Now remember, now that the Little Whip and Fish Fam have taken the lead, the Funky Fighters fall to 3. And since they got first in the first game, that means it's just more close when you think about the overall standings here.
Yeah, look, Little Whip again, get another prop in. They're pushing ahead, man. These guys are pulling away from the pack right now. Llama Record Company, they've got to just start trying to pick off these props. They've got